Can you guys hear me okay? Microphone check, 1, 2. Just rolled me a nice fat blunt. It's gonna be for my vacation, but thought hell. Sun's coming up. I'm about to go live for the first time early in the morning. Why not? What's up, Polygraph? Boston. Derek. About 2 hours ago for you, huh? Yeah, I'm over here in Arizona. What's up, Willow? Digi. What's up, Digi? Yeah, Polly, that's not my picture, but that's what I'm pretty much looking at right now. Except it's kind of raining where I'm at. So it's really dark clouds. But that is an Arizona sunset. All right, enough of that crazy StreamYard music. Figured that might help you guys wake up a little bit. Yeah, I gotta get up and pack for a little trip. Problem is I went to bed way too early. Good morning, Mike. Good to see all you, Wanda, Boston, Veronica, Jules. What's up, Jules? Jules from Canada, 8:35. It like it's like 5:30 here. You're getting wrinkled. Last time I seen you, Derek, you needed some sun, buddy. Yep. Smoking some of that homegrown. Pulled a fat nug out of my off of some of my outdoor plants that I have in my garden. Let it dry out. Rolled it up into a blunt this morning. Ooh. The good thing about my outdoor plants, they're not very strong. Like the ones I have indoor. Oh man. But the ones outdoors like a more like a mild, real mild. It's like I don't know. It's a more calculated. Veronica, she's a late night. She's like, technically it's the morning. What's up, Jessica? So I figured what I'd share with you guys today is a video I was putting together. And then we can talk about some Delphi stuff. I put this, I guess it's a mashup. I don't know what you'd call it. It's just something to play in the background of these live streams so I can focus in on the chat a little bit better. But I'm putting together a video on Laurel Jean Mitchell. And I think I just found out while doing my research, the Inquisitor, which is a YouTube channel, did basically like a good summary on it. But I'm going to focus more in on the connection that cold case detectives are trying to make with Delphi, Indiana. So I figured that'd be interesting. We could talk about that. I thought you'd get a kick out of that one. Yeah, super mellow, good flavor. I don't know if you guys enjoy like a cigar occasionally. but a lot of people that don't really smoke a lot of marijuana, they don't realize that it has a really good flavor to it. I know, Anthony, what's up? And I've already been up for about 2 hours, getting ready to go camping up in the mountains. Got some people already up there. Oh, that's awful. Yeah, I would have cried. Yeah, I got busted growing up. I remember one time I tried to black out my bedroom window and then like plant behind it and then block out the front. Yeah, I got busted in like a day. I think I was like 13 at the time. What's up, Susan? TTM. Yep. Yeah, and the place that we go is beautiful. There's really nobody goes out there. There's a nice lake, nice fishing lake. Actually, there's a couple fishing lakes. So if you're not doing good at one, the other one will be good. And if you're not doing good at that one, go back to the other one. All right, let's take a look at this Laurel Jean Mitchell. Have you guys heard of this? This is something very recent. Let me pull up the quick summary. All right. Actually, you guys don't need to see the summary. I'll put the summary over here, and I'll put Laurel's picture up on the screen here. All right. Are you guys familiar with this case? Hey, what's up, Deb? Yeah, Derek, it's a case out of Indiana. I believe it was 1975. It's a cold case. But come to find out, it has the cold case detectives they found a connection to Delphi, Indiana. And I wanted to kind of show that to you guys and talk to you about it. The video is pretty much done. No, I would say it's a little more than halfway done. Susan said, I put a grow light under my bed and grew some. My grandma said, what kind of tomatoes are those? Like, grandma, those are spicy tomatoes. They call it lamb's bread. Fifth wheel, yeah. Yeah, we're meeting a bunch of people up there and they're already set up. They got all that nice stuff. Nice fifth wheel. Yeah, I'm going up there to do some fishing. It's going to be miserable camping, raining nonstop. But for me, that's good fishing. I just go out there with the rain poncho, some of that cowboy heater whiskey. Hey, what's up, Tattoo? Good to see you. Digital, it's new to you. This is an old case. Let's break down the summary. Okay, now I got this right here. Let me see if I can pull it so you guys can kind of see it. Guess that didn't work. But it's from a Reddit. It's actually a subreddit called Unresolved Mysteries. This isn't where I found it, but this is where I'm pulling the summary because it's well written. And after looking at all the information, I mean, they kind of crammed it all here. And it's actually the person who posted it. Their name is The Bones of Autumn, and she's got some really good stuff. But here it says on August 6th, 1975, around 10:15 p.m. So that's 10:15 p.m. at night. 17-year-old Laurel Jean Mitchell left her job at the Cokesbury Inn. I think I have a picture of the Cokesbury. There it is. Okay, so she was leaving this place at about 10:15. 17-year-old Laurel Jean Mitchell left her job at the Cokesbury Inn, a small restaurant in Epworth Forest. Now, Epworth Forest is a small town just outside of Fort Wayne. Veronica, you haven't heard of it either? Or yes, mid 70s. Well, it's strange. This cold case is tied to Delphi, and the suspect that they're looking for would have been about 16 at the time, so that would make him around 56. So I thought it was interesting if we're not dealing with a young killer. It's interesting. I'll kind of lay out the facts for you guys, and I'll let you be the judge. Yeah, that's what my wife wants. She wants just a little pull behind, but I mean, we don't need it. Whenever we go camping, we never really go alone. Plus, I'm used to the rugged camping anyway. Hey, Marlo. I'm having a great morning. How you doing? She does kind of look like Meredith. I was trying to figure out who she looked like. Thanks, Chris. That was bothering me. I was like, man, she looks familiar. All right. So that's Epworth Forest, small town. Might have it on a map here. That's it right there. It's all my images. Stuff. Yeah. Give you kind of an idea. All right. Let's bring it back on track here. Okay, so she left the small restaurant Epworth Forest, located on the shores of Webster Lake. And that was the image I was showing you there. Put that back up. It's actually really nice there. You guys ever been there? It's in Indiana. This was 1975. The picture is pretty cool. Hey, Jacqueline. Good to see you. Yeah, it seemed like she was just going to hitchhike, or maybe somebody offered her a ride. Willa says that would follow my potential POI theory. Yeah, let's get into it. It's really interesting. Okay, so let me finish this summary real quick and we'll just dive right into it. Okay, so she left work near Webster Lake, headed to Adventureland. Now, this is Adventureland. It's not open anymore. It was like a little amusement park, and it was basically right around the corner from where she lived. Look at that old school. That's what it looks like today. Oh, yeah, creepy place. We'll come back to that. Okay. So Laurel, a high school senior, passed by a classmate who waved to her as she walked by the entrance of the Epworth Forest. So they're referring to this right here. Let me see. See, these are all unorganized. I just threw them in a folder for my video. Sorry about that. But I guess this place is known for these pillars right here. So as she was walking through here, one of her friends lived in one of these homes. And that was the last time she was seen. It's just like a quick, hey, where are you going? Oh, I'm headed to Adventureland, which is like, I think like a mile around the corner. So she passed by her classmate who waved to her as she walked by the entrance to the Epworth Forest. That would be the last time Laurel would be seen alive. No one knew Laurel was missing or in any danger. Her parents believed she was with her friends at Adventureland, when in reality, her friends decided to go to the county fair that evening, suspecting Laurel had just gone home after work. The following morning, 15 miles away, a man and his son were fishing in the Elkhart River in Noble County, discovered the body of a young woman in the water. The body was quickly identified as Laurel. The autopsy revealed that Laurel's cause of death had been drowning. She showed no obvious signs of trauma. Aside from several bruises on her hands and shoulder, Laurel was fully clothed. However, it was determined that she had been sexually assaulted. Before I go into this article, and this is what got my attention, was cold case connected to Delphi. But before we go into any of this stuff, okay, so this is where she was last seen, down here at the bottom. Let me take that comment off there. So Epworth Forest Road, and there's the lake that I showed you guys. She basically lived right on this lake and worked right here. So it's almost as if she got all the way to this main road here, and that's where she was picked up. And then her body was found, I think they said, what, 25 miles? And I think I actually have a picture of the location. Yeah, here it is. So this is kind of where they found her. Hey, what's going on, Melly? Okay, so check this out. This is what got my attention here. Read this article. All right, it's titled Cold Case Connected to Delphi, Indiana. It was published in the Pharaoh's Tribune, July 2nd, 2014, by Ben Middlecamp. He's listed here as a staff reporter. All right. Police think the answers to a 40-year-old murder case just might lie in Delphi. Indiana State Police is reaching out to people of Delphi and others throughout northeastern Indiana for help in solving the 1975 slaying of a 17-year-old Laurel Jean Mitchell. Mitchell was last seen leaving work at the Epworth Forest Conference Center in North Webster at approximately 10:15 p.m. August 6, 1975. She was then found dead the next day in Elkhart River in Noble County. Detective Kevin Smith is asking for the public's help in identifying a group of young people who may have been performing as a singing group at the former Cokesbury Inn inside Epworth Forest the night of Mitchell's death. Smith said the group stopped at the North Webster Fire Station that evening at 10:30 p.m. because of a medical issue in the car. Smith recently interviewed a former North Webster firefighter who talked to 4 or 5 boys and girls that night. The members told the firefighters they were from Delphi and had just performed at the Cokesbury Inn. Smith said the firefighter believed them to be between the ages of 16 and 22. That puts them in their mid-50s to early 60s now. They would have been leaving around the same time as Mitchell. It's a fairly isolated area with just one road going by it, Smith said, of Epworth Forest. Smith said she wants to ask the group if they saw anything that night and what they observed. According to an August 13, 1975 newspaper article in Delphi, Carroll County Comet, several people from Carroll County went to the 21st annual Epworth Forest Choir School, located at Epworth Forest, for a week-long event. The choir school concluded Sunday, August 10th, and began a week before. It puts the event during the time of August 6th through the 7th, disappearance and death of Mitchell, and the article stated that 231 people enrolled for the week camp. The newspaper article said that Reverend and Miss Milton Persons and Sarah Flora, and Sarah, and a Reverend Mrs. Ralph Carstead, Miss Ruth Monroe, and Annette Wyant, Robert Hartigan from Robert Hartington from Delphi, all attended the school. Smith said he found an article a year earlier, August 14th, 1974, which said that Stephen Loretta Lesenby, Paula Clark, and Jeff and Melody Chrisenvig have returned home from a week of camp at Epworth Forest at North Webster. They were with a group of young people from Climbers Methodist Church. Have you guys ever heard of that church? Climbers Methodist Church. So apparently it's a singing group who are part of a choir, potentially, performing at the same place that she worked, which is the Epworth Forest Conference Center. So they were performing there, most likely interacted with her there, and then caught up to her as she was leaving. So they believe that. And then I read another article where the reason they stopped at a fire station was because one of the females that was with the group headed to Delphi was having a panic attack. Why would she be having a panic attack? Did she just see something? So, I mean, we could be dealing with a witness that could help in this case from 1975. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, that bodes the question, did every year the church send kids to that camp? And is this instead of a singing group, were they just kids who had gone to the camp again the next year? Smith said. I'm open to any possibilities. I'm telling you that. Smith said Epworth Forest is a Methodist church camp and has been for more than 100 years. He has been in contact with the Methodist Church in Delphi and with Epworth Forest, but he hasn't been able to track down the group of kids. Smith added that if anybody from Delphi went to Epworth Forest from camp or other event from 1974 to 1976, he wants to talk to them in hopes of gaining any additional information to help solve the homicide. So, what do you guys think about that? So, you got a kid or a group of people who possibly from Delphi committed a murder. Okay. You know, from 16 to age what, 56 now. Is it possible that this could be the same person? I mean, I don't want to stretch too far, but I don't want to ignore certain things either, Because it sounds like there possibly could be a witness, like the witness who witnessed this crime, the young lady who was having a panic attack at the fire station. What if she sees the Delphi killings and is like, "Wow, that reminds me of this person when we were young. He did the same thing." Jacqueline, this is about Laurel. Here, let me put her picture back up here. Actually, here, let me play these. I have a few videos. Let's do that. I almost forgot about these. Hold on. This might shed some more light on the situation here.
17-year-old Laurel Mitchell's body was found along the Elkhart River. It's a case that's gone unsolved now for 4 decades, and her family is still hoping for justice. Mitchell disappeared August 6, 1975,
Hey, Vanessa.
as she was walking along Epworth Forest Road in Kosciuszko County. She had planned to meet friends at a local amusement park. She never made it. Her body was found the next morning in the Elkhart River, nearly 15 miles away. She was sexually assaulted and drowned. Police believe she knew her killer. Last year, they said they were looking for a person who may have stopped by the nearby fire station that night. If you have information that might solve this cold case, call the Indiana State Police.
Just for those asking, um, the case that we were talking about was Laurel Jean Mitchell. This happened in 1975. It's a cold case. She was 17 at the time. And cold case investigators have found a connection to Delphi, Indiana. Apparently, there was a choir school, and a lot of people from a Methodist church in Delphi would attend this school and also sing at the local establishments. And there was a group from Delphi, a singing group, who most likely attended the choir school, sang at the victim's place of employment that night. And right now, that's their leads. They believe that they are involved and they're from Delphi. But nobody has been able to identify this group.
Isley.
What did she eat? Was she in pain? I don't know. That's what eats at you. You just don't know what those last minutes were like.
Knisley's sister, Laurel Jean Mitchell, was murdered nearly 40 years ago. On August 6, 1975, 17-year-old Laurel, a senior in high school, was getting off work at Epworth Forest near North Webster. She planned to walk down the road to meet friends at a local amusement park. She never made it. Her body was found the next day in the Elkhart River, about 15 miles from Epworth Forest in Noble County. An autopsy determined she drowned. Her death was ruled a homicide, and police believe she was sexually assaulted.
You can't work on these cases and be successful if you don't run down every possible lead that's out there.
Recently, Indiana State Police Detective Kevin Smith has been looking into the case. Last week, Smith told the media he was looking for a singing group that may have stopped by the fire station the night Mitchell went missing and may have seen something.
From the story I got, one of the girls was very upset, like she was hyperventilating. She saw something, and that's why they stopped at the fire station to get some first aid.
But this lead was a dead end. Still, Smith says someone stopped at the firehouse that night, and he hopes that someone or anyone has the information that could help solve this case.
I have no doubt that information is out there to solve this case. I just need somebody to give it to me.
Because after waiting nearly 40 years, Laurel's family says it's about time they learned what happened to her.
It would be a weight off of everybody's heart.
So strange. And the similarities, too. And that name Lesenby, that must be a pretty common name in that area. I don't think I've ever heard of it until I caught wind of this Delphi case. Yes, Chucky, it is a Methodist church. Let me give you the exact name. So it's like somebody's covering up, you know? All right, it says here Climbers Methodist Church. CLYMERS Methodist Church. That name, right? So strange. Wonder how old he is. Was he in a choir? Yeah, somebody needs to like reach out to one of these choir teachers or whatever who was born and raised in Delphi and ask them like, hey, did you go to Epworth Forest back in 1975? That'd be so crazy. Yeah, Vanessa as in Tobe. I wonder if they're related. Yeah, super coincidental. I have a feeling that name's pretty popular. Marlowe, I don't know. I've been hearing it a lot. Wow, that'd be crazy, Derek. That'd be too much of a coincidence. So what do you guys think that if this is not a young killer, let's say it's an older killer, and all the information we have up until this point is just coincidental, or maybe somehow it even ties in, who knows? You know, what do we know? But is it possible that somebody witnessed this person kill somebody at a young age, saw the Delphi case happened and then immediately thought of this person again. Like, okay, hiding in plain sight. Oh wow, this reminds me of this guy. But they cannot come forward because if they do come forward, maybe they think they're going to get charged as an accessory for the other stuff. You know what I mean? Who that Micah? The guy when Burston's like, Micah, get the lights. What does he say? He says something like that. Yeah, I don't think Tobe's that old. He's like, what, in his 40s, maybe? I'm out of here in like probably like an hour. I'm gonna try to get a drive. I'm just waiting for everybody to kind of wake up, Jacqueline. But everything's packed up. We're good to go. Was that in Kokomo Digital? But I'm not sure if there's a connection. But I think I know the situation you're referring to. No. I do have this. All right. So I think cause of death. It says immediate cause was drowning. Accident, suicide, or homicide, or undetermined. They have it listed as undetermined. Oh, sorry. I guess I should share that with you. That was very stingy of me. So let's see here. Indiana State Board of Health, coroner certificate of death, Laurel Jean Mitchell, August 7th, 1970. They said her date of birth was the 6th. Here they have it as August 7th. That's weird. Immediate cause was drowning and undetermined. But later they came out and said that it was foul play and she was murdered. It's possible, right, Willow? I mean, you have to think about it. So there was a killer in 1975. So we know that that's a fact. And we know that people live through time. You know, time goes by and people still exist. You know, those of us who are lucky will still exist. So that person potentially still exists today. And there was an article where it said that some of their suspects are still living. So these new cold case investigators have people that they're looking at, and they stated that they are still alive. So I thought that was interesting. Ooh, good question, Chopper. I'm going to have to go with Usyk. You know? Anthony Joshua can't handle inside busy fighters. Yeah, we saw that with Andy Ruiz, you know, just throwing quick combinations inside. And he got his chin exposed. So, but if history repeats itself, everybody knows that typically champions that come back after a loss, they do achieve victory. But I think Usyk is different. I think he's going to be a champion for a while. He's got like the right size, you know. He's just big enough to where he can handle the big guys, but he's just small enough to where he can move around and stay nimble. And that's what makes Tyson Fury so great, is that he's so big and nimble. So it's rare. Wanda says, "Are they assuming no combative wounds? So she was trusting the person she was with as to referring the possibly knew her killer." Yeah, they did mention that in another article, that she potentially knew her killer. Um, and the theories from local police are that the reason they stopped at the firehouse was because somebody who had witnessed the crime was panicking about it, or was in fact the victim. They're not sure. Yeah, they verified that there was sexual assault. Yeah, there's another case that happened prior to this. I think it was 1 year. There's some people that were on Reddit going down a rabbit hole. It was really interesting. I just didn't have time to go down that rabbit hole. But if I ever do a follow-up, I will. Yes, they verified shortly after that she was murdered, sexually assaulted, and then basically drowned forcefully. Because originally they couldn't tie the bruises to anything. I guess they assumed maybe she bruised after they were moving her around, or in the process of quote unquote. I don't like using this word, but it is. I guess it is the proper term. I guess dumping. Just sounds awful. Hey, Annalie, what's up? Kelly. Hope everybody's doing well. Thought I'd get in a quick little live stream before I ghost it for a few days. Chopper says, "Me too. Usyk too good for AJ. Fury is big, but he can box and very smart. The Gypsy King. Love to see Tyson Fury fight AJ. Man, Tyson Fury would destroy AJ. I mean, he got exposed. Like, he's just more of a specimen. You know, you look at him, you're like, man, that's a specimen of a man. And then he has that sick left hook, but he telegraphs it. You know, he kind of cocks it. He kind of loads it, takes his whole hip and kind of pulls his left arm back. And then it's beautiful, but it's telegraphed. So if you can kind of stay away from that and that jab, you're good. She was found in this river. Let's see. Okay, just to kind of give you guys an idea of where Epworth Forest is located in proximity to Delphi. That should help a little bit. And this is the area where she was found. 27 minutes away, about 17 miles. That's where she's from, and this is where she was found. Excuse me. Two father and son were out fishing and found her. Thank you, Kelly. Should be some good fishing. So we haven't talked a whole lot recently. I've been busy doing videos and the occasional live stream, but we haven't really talked a whole lot about Delphi. So I have about 30 more minutes to hang out if you guys want to. Let me test out this little video I put together for Delphi live streams. Well, Chucky, the connection to Delphi is so apparently there was a group of singers. I think it was about 4 or 5. It was boys and girls. They were singing at the victim's place of employment while she was working. So she's working her shift and they're there at the same time singing and performing. She gets off work, begins to walk to the main highway at the same time that this group is leaving and heading back to Delphi, Indiana. So where she should have gone left, she ended up being found at the Elkhart River, which was taking a right, which was headed back towards Delphi. So it would seem that they picked her up and, maybe they got flirty or maybe they had bad intentions. But whatever it was, they ended up murdering this girl. And their main suspects could be from Delphi, could be part of that group. Because shortly after, they had to stop at a fire station to receive some medical attention because one of the female passengers of their vehicle was having a panic attack. Now, whether it was a natural panic attack or if something happened, the timing of it is very suspicious. But they also mentioned to the fire station staff that they were headed to Delphi, back to Delphi as well. Thanks, Vanessa. Saltwater fishing. I've never been. I'm not a big fan of the ocean. Hey, what's up, Tony? How you doing? God bless. Thank you. Do you guys think it's possible that whoever is using Kagan's Anthony Shots profile, like, tried to meet other girls? Is that what this is all about? So say somebody comes forward, they're like, "Yeah, this guy tried to meet me and I actually met him." Do you think it's possible that the killer met some of these girls and, wasn't like a psycho killer, but wasn't Kagan Klein? Like, is that who they're looking for? Somebody who actually tries to meet the girls? Oh, sorry to hear, Tony. Stay positive, man. It'll all work itself out. That's nice, Susan. Yeah, I come from a long line of fishermen. Digital. Actually, there was a name thrown around. Let me see if I can find it. But I think they verified it wasn't that group, or they weren't sure. But yeah, there was a name of a singing group that was thrown around. Yeah, I'm not sure. If I was to guess, I'm gonna say like maybe 40, like late 40s at the most. Sounds tranquil. Yep, not a big fan of the ocean. Anywhere where I can be considered bait? Nope. I'm afraid of grizzly bears too. I mean, they're basically werewolves if you think about it. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, werewolves are so scary." Have you ever seen a shaved bear? Basically a werewolf. Susan, who's Megan? Just kidding. Really? That's interesting, Derek. I have to take a look. Welcome, Melly. We got a new member. Probably see you on Tuesday. I don't know, Tony. I mean, I know that they were like on the same wrestling team or went to school together. They're the same age. I mean, they're from the same small town. Feet on the ground. Yep. Yep. Sunshine Kicks. How you doing? Says I went down the pasture tunnel before, and every tunnel ends up making sense, including that one. Yeah, especially with the religious overtones. The creek, it's the same creek where apparently they do baptisms and stuff. So you're trying to get into the mind of somebody who could kill two girls, leave signatures and staging and get away with it, while being on video and while having your voice captured. So you try to wonder who could do that and get away with it. Somebody hiding in plain sight. So our mind kind of turns into this Hollywood production, but really this murder was very similar to a Hollywood production. You know what I mean? Like the way it all went down. It's like whoever was thinking about it, if they planned this out and it went according to plan, they possibly are obsessed with horror movies and serial killers and things like that. Yeah, glad to have you. Wow. See, that information is very interesting. Digital says, "Have you seen Misbehave's new video?" Yeah, I watched it from start to finish. You know, he had a police scanner. Why the hell would he have a police scanner? That's very suspect. unless he's an ambulance chaser. That I don't know, Sunshine. But I know in the 2019 presser he was in that room because they say, what do they? I can't remember what he says. Something Micah something like Micah hit the lights or something like that. But yeah, he was there. Weren't they in the church? So if anybody knows how to run the equipment, it's him. It's very suspicious. Micah, play the clip. Oh, there you. Yeah, it sounds like there's possibly, let's say there is by some weird coincidence that this cold case is connected what's going on in Delphi. I'll admit that it's a stretch, but I mean, if we're not looking at patterns, what's the point of doing anything, right? So it sounds like it's already a stretch to say they're connected. But let's say that witness who was having a panic attack, the female witness, what if she has been holding this information in this entire time? What if that's the one piece? Like, what if she came out and was like, oh, such and such, killed this person in 1975, and it's somebody that's very prominent in the community? Like, that would be shocking. What's up, Woodland Star? Good to see you. Good point. Hanali's like, oh, Just keep an open mind. What was that, Bloodsport? It was like, keep an open mind. Yeah, he did. He used to have like this really large beard, and then it seems like he just cut it off, or vice versa. Can't remember. Not saying I suspect him at all, but I mean, with a strange case like this, that kind of fits a strange case. You would think there would be some type of strange perpetrator, trying to fit in that puzzle. But maybe it's a square peg in a round hole, Kelly's like, "Oh, challenge accepted. We're going down the rabbit hole." Well, I mean, the baptisms and stuff like that, that's kind of strange. Going out into like the Deer Creek. I mean, it's only strange in that context, of course. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're gonna have a blast. It's gonna be raining the entire time. We're all ready. I don't know. I know that there was private. Why do they sound so different? Yeah, I know that there was private funeral arrangements. I just don't know like which church. I know a viewing was held at the school at one point. Then the private viewings were at a church. No, the horn guy was not a pastor. That was Brad Heath. He was an exterminator who was working in the area, who saw something and felt he should say something. Ann Vroom says, if there's no break by next February, wouldn't you think this could be considered officially cold case? Honestly, Ann, I hope so, because that means that they're going to have all new investigators come in. They're going to be brought up to speed, and then they're going to start from the beginning. So when you start from the beginning, what that means is a lot of interviews. That's what I want. That's what I hope for this case, is that all of those people that were interviewed early on who were minors and who have changed, relationships change over time. That, along with DNA, really is how these cold case investigators have success, is the changing of, well, first and foremost, it's the DNA and the technology changing with the DNA. That's the first thing they do. Boom, they run all the DNA through the latest technology. And then they go back and they talk to all of the witnesses and the people that were interviewed, early on. And they kind of look for the changes in the loyalty. Maybe somebody who was loyal 5 years ago is no longer loyal today. Maybe there was somebody cheated on them and now there's resentment. It's like, well, that person no longer cares about me. Why should I hold the secret? Why should I harbor the secret? Stuff like that. Yeah, only in Delphi. Then you got his buddy with the scratched up knuckles. Like, I don't know what he was doing. He like had his arms out. I mean, those guys seem pretty ritualistic. I don't, I consider myself a Christian, but I don't do the hooping and hollering. speaking in tongues. You know, no disrespect to anybody or the religion. I don't care if you're a Satanist, really. Yeah, they believe he told somebody, and if he hasn't, at least somebody knows. You know, that's the information that's coming from law enforcement. Either he told somebody, or at the very least, somebody knows. And the reason they say that somebody knows is because how different this person is. Maybe they're not different. Yeah, Anthony Francis, I hope so too. Needs new investigators to look at the case. I wish some of those kids who hung around the bridge that day would talk publicly. Yeah. You know, I wonder now that they've gotten older and a little bit wiser and a little more life experience, if they know anything, maybe now they see how important, maybe they have children, maybe now they have a wife. Now they see how important it is that justice is served. It's like, yeah, the bridge guy was my friend. Um, I had loyalty, but now that I have children of my own, I have to say something. Because the guy that they basically accused of being the Zodiac killer, I can't remember his name. It's not official yet, but you know, it's pretty compelling, the information they have against him. But one of his best friends came forward and talked about like how this guy was his best friend and he would kill animals and torture animals, and but he was this nice guy. But anytime they would go out hunting or anything like that, he would just indiscriminately kill animals and like try to make them feel pain. you know so you're like, yeah, I have this close friend, but he's really weird sometimes. I have a feeling it'll be maybe a clue like that might break the case in the future. I'm not sure. Like, you guys all know him as this such and such, but really behind the scenes he does this and that, which will allow you to see this person in another light, and then it might open up all these other possibilities. Well, maybe his story doesn't add up. Maybe his alibi isn't legit. I haven't heard anything about any gag orders. True. I mean, think about it. If law enforcement put you on a gag order, would is that going to keep you quiet? Like, what are you going to do? Arrest me? You know who had scratches on their face? And I hate to say this because people have gone down this rabbit hole as well. But it was that Mendel guy, the business owner. I was watching, they interviewed him because he was selling t-shirts. And I believe it was like the 17th or the 18th. And this dude had scratches all over his face. You guys ever seen that? I'm gonna have to find that and show you guys. Not like making any accusations, but that's just a fact. I was watching a video a few days after the crime, and that dude had scratches on his face. I never once suspected that guy ever, but it is a fact. And I just recently saw the video. I may have recorded it. Either way, I'm going to find it. He has this huge scratch down his forehead and then one right by the side of his eye. I just have a habit of doing that. Anytime I'm watching any of the old news reports on the Delphi murders and when they're interviewing people in the public, law enforcement, anybody really, I'm looking at everybody. I'm like, do they have scratches on their hands? Do they have scratches on their face? I mean, I'm pretty sure the killer would have to be kind of scratched up, wouldn't he? Hey, Bird Blue, how you doing? Willie Billy says there was a medium said the year 1975 was important to the killer about 6 months ago. Well, maybe they read the article that I just read. Yeah, I'll take a look at that, Melly. I looked at it briefly. Let me take another look. Yeah, when I find time, I'll follow up with you on that. But I'm getting ready to head out of here. I can hear the scampering of little feet. So that means people are waking up. Oh, Gary Francis Port Zodiac Killer. Yep, that's his name. Did you guys ever see the interview with his friend talking about how he was like a really violent and like he would be a nice guy. You can bring him around your family, nice, but when they would go hunting, this dude would just like torture animals and shit. It was weird. The way this guy was explaining the stuff he would do is very strange. Ann says, I'm pretty convinced there were two perps. Can't figure any other way they'd round up the two active teenage girls. Well, it's one thing to round them up, but if you look at the evidence and the way the crime scene kind of flows out, there's the shoe, the footprints leading into the creek, and then somehow they went over the creek bank. So you would think, okay, if this is one perpetrator, it's one thing to be able to handle two victims, but how do you handle two victims, chase both of them across a creek, get both of their bodies up over the creek bank? And I guess that's still up for debate for some, all on your own. To me, you can't do it. To me, it's like there's two people, maybe even somebody already on that side. Or, maybe it just plays out that there was a chase, there was a struggle at one point in the water, and then ultimately, everything ended on the opposite end. But how did they get them up over the creek bank, position the bodies? Because Libby's not super light, So to me, if this is an older person, he needs to be in good shape. And yeah, it just doesn't make it just when you play it out in your mind, you see two people, like somebody helping somebody else up over the bank, reaching down with their arm, like, okay, and then helping up. And then the last person kind of stumbles and kind of makes their way up. That's how I see it. Yeah, Mendel, there you go. I don't know his first name, but he owns the what is it, like a yogurt shop or something? But at the time he was selling t-shirts. Like right after it happened, he was the first one. He was selling t-shirts and he was donating the money to the family. But if you look right on the 17th, they're doing an interview with him. He's got this hat on and he's got it pulled down kind of over, but underneath the bill of his hat, there's this long scratch, and it's still fresh. It's like red. And then it kind of comes down towards his eye, kind of skips the eye, and then right below the eye is another scratch. So whatever it is came across his forehead, missed his eye, and then caught his cheek. I will. I got to find it, Anthony. I just found it. I just seen it. It was either yesterday or the day before. I was like, what the fuck? But I mean, it's obviously not Mendel. But I mean, you can't ignore the fact the dude has scratches on his face. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for hanging out on this little morning live stream. It's kind of nice to jump on here very early, you know, catch some of you that I usually miss. Hey, Mike. Yeah. And if I were you, I'd go find it. It shouldn't be very hard. I basically looked for any videos between February 13th and February 18th, and that was one of them that popped up regarding Delphi. Hey, Heather. Mendel was Kelsey's boss. Thanks, Derek. You have a good weekend, buddy. Hey, Grizz, what's up? How you doing? I don't have the clip, but I'm going to find it. Thank you, Marlo. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you, Silent. Thank you, Veronica. All weekend and then some. Yep. Little feet and dogs barking. And a crazy cat playing with something and ramming into the wall next to my door here. Thank you, Woodland Star. That would be so crazy. I mean, I've never suspected the guy. I mean, how is it possible? But I mean, the dude has the scratches on his face. But he looks like he's getting his business up and running. And usually when you're doing a lot of the work yourself, you know, when you're starting a business or as a business owner, and you're always getting scratched up, fingers smashed, messing with box cutters and stuff. Yeah, stuff like that happens. Thank you, Vanessa. Yeah, I wonder if Valentine's Day plays a part, and I wonder if that has to do with any of the signatures. Thank you, Ivy. All right, guys, I wish I could stay longer. Conversation's going well. Thank you for the participation in the chat. Anybody watching a replay, hey, what's up? Catch you on the flip side. And everybody have a safe weekend. And I'll see you soon. Members, got something planned for Tuesday. And I'll see you then. Take care, guys.